Now, just let me enlighten you on a point or two.
Yes?
Now, we got here in the state of Louisiana what's known as the Napoleonic Code. You see, now, according to which that what belongs to the wife belongs to the husband also, and vice versa. Will you listen?
Brando is exactly what I believe in an actor. He's exactly the thing that I like in actors. There's a hell of a lot of turmoil there. There is ambivalence there. He's uncertain of himself and he's passionate, both at the same time. And it's all there and available to a director. If he agrees with you, he has to agree with you. And that you find out to begin with. And the first thing is you talk to him. You treat him like a human. And when you talk to him then, he was such a simple, like a child. But he was very, very full of emotion and full of passion.
Action!
What's that? The plaster cracked.
All right, you hands up. Cut out the cackling there.
Well, you can't hear us.
Well, you can hear me, and I told you to hush up.
Marlon Brando and I dressed together for 2 years. We got to know each other quite well, and that was an interesting time.
Cut it, print it, that's all.
There was something in his eyes, there was something in his emotion, there was something about him, and you couldn't take your eyes off of him. But when I'm talking about Marlon, I may as well start with what I've said from the beginning. He's a genius. I've seen him come to rehearsal and do a scene, and I said, that's it. Ooh, he's got it. That's terrific.
Hey, Sarah!
And then he comes in the same damn thing, different, but just the same excitement.
Action! Hey, honey!
You know, actors mostly work on, I've got to get it, I've got to get it. When I feel it, I get it, I've got it. That's it, hold on to it. Not Marlon. Marlon can go in any direction you want, but boy, it's there. That's what made him a big star. And the audience waited for Marlon to come on stage every time because he was so funny and so, whatever it was, it was just great for that part.
Stanley, what are you doing?
Stanley is very apart from Marlon. He's one of the gentlest, sweetest, kindest human beings I have ever worked with in my life. The crazy sense of humor and teasing, all that, yes, but no, really, truly an extraordinary human being.
He tried to go as far away from Stanley Kowalski as he could to prove that he wasn't Stanley Kowalski.
Brando hated Stanley. I mean, he was on record as that. He says he's everything I loathe in men. You know, he's cocksure, he's crude, he's vulgar, he's insolent, he's all of those things. He's full of a kind of rage. But there's nothing more interesting, I think, in movies than a guy who's menacing and is at the same time kind of making you laugh.
Now, that's how I'm going to clear the table.
I mean, that's really scary because he catches you in the audience in an ambivalent situation. I mean, am I supposed to laugh at this guy? I'm supposed to be scared of this? What's going on with this? And Kazan always said about Brando that that's what he loved about him.
My place is all cleared up now. You want me to clear yours?
He said you never really knew where you were with him. You know, whether he was going to be childlike or whether he was going to be, you know, this powerful bull of a guy. Because he was both. And not only was he ambivalent in his performance, he was ambivalent within himself about who he was as a human being. So you got this richness going on in this movie. It's in other movies that Kazan did, but I don't think any more potently stated than it is in Streetcar.
You know, there's some men, Liza, that took in by this Hollywood glamour stuff, and there's some men that just aren't.
I'm sure you belong in the second category.
That's right.
I did 5 things with Marlon. There are many actors in California here who wouldn't work with Marlon. Fear, what it was, I don't know, they wouldn't work with him. I loved it. Those 2 years in the dressing room, I knew him. I knew the sensitivity of the man, the craziness of him. And just tell him not to do something, you know that next day he's going to do it. That was Marlon. And in the 3 movies that we did, we had a hell of a good time. And when we did One-Eye Jacks, I was a very proud actor when he called me and said, Carl, I'm going to produce and direct a movie. I've got a part for you. I haven't read it, And I said, I'll do it, anything at all. And when it was over, he came to the house, and he looked around. He said, Carl, is this the house that Jack built? I says, you're right, it is, because it ran over so long. 6 months. It was supposed to run 2 months. 6 months it ran. And that's what killed him as a director. But he was as good a director as he was an actor, because nobody could stop him. Nobody could move him. If he wanted to do the scene, we're going to sit here all day and do the scene. That's Marlon.
Hey, Mitch, deal me out. I'm talking to Miss...
This is my ego speaking. But I think he loved working with me, because I gave him a good battle. I didn't win, but boy, I made it tough.
Every time you win a big pot, you're out like stout.
Well, I got a sick mother, and she don't go to sleep until I get in at night.
We didn't see each other much. Our lifestyle is completely different. I couldn't live the way he lived, and he definitely couldn't live the way I was. I was a square as far as he was concerned. I'm a square. And you only live once. It was his idea. And he had a great time doing it, and that's the way he wanted to do it, that's fine. But when we talked on the phone, we talked intimate things, many intimate things. And he called me about 3 weeks before he died. And he said, Carl, I've fallen 5 times, and I don't know what's wrong. I said, don't talk to me, call to a doctor. He said, I don't want to go to a doctor. Well, have the doctor come to you. No, I said, I'm coming over, Marlon. He said, Carl, don't come over. There's nothing you can do. I said, okay, if that's what you want. Do you have any? He said, I've got the gal here. She takes care of me beautifully. Everything is fine. And that was it.
Action.
Huh?
Let me get by you.
You want to get by me? Go ahead.
You stand over there.
You got plenty of room to get by me now.
He was the man that I cherished and I loved, never got to see much of. And at the memorial especially, everybody was talking about Marlon and what he did away from the screen and what he did away from the acting. And I wasn't supposed to talk, but I couldn't take it, and I talked about Marlon the actor. Because that's what he was. He was an actor. And I think there are many times when his private life became more important than his theatrical life. That was the terrible part of it. The papers latched onto him, and he was the front page of papers for most of his life. And I think he hated that. But that's the way he was.
Now, maybe you wouldn't be bad to interfere with.
First print.